question mark, just given the fact that T1 are a new team. It's that Fortress Hardpoint victory that I think really has been a question mark of the series for Convoy Gaming. But they are a very stacked team in terms of veteranship. They aren't out just yet. A reverse sweep is still on the cards, and that's what they require now to start off their Elite Season 4 a little bit better than they might otherwise. Here, though, towards a series that Rokkr ESG were able to take the search and destroy away from Hive x Streetmob, running in towards this Expo control. An 8 versus 6 here in round number 1. And now looking to capture this A-zone. Thresh is going to be barreled up with nades galore. Finally will go down. It's going to be a pinstripe kill feed coming through. Now it's going to be a 2 versus 1 on the point. Made that a 2 versus 2, actually. Rooper now finds himself in a 1v1, and in the end does go down. Hive, though, gonna get it done in the end.
That timing was very tight there at the end. I mean, he found, what, the 1 kill required? And then the other player from behind, oh no, that was so, DC was off the zone. Oh no. Oh, it was so close. That's going to be unfortunate for Rokkr x ESG, but hey, it is Expo control. So long as you have a very good opening break, it could very much so be an offensive round for Rokkr x ESG, but it's got to start there with your decision making. His zone definitely probably the more difficult of the two to capture for yourself. So Rokkr x ESG, they're splitting their affairs here early on. You got one player you can see here for DC at least looking towards the A zone, but the rest of Rokkr x ESG are barreling towards this B zone, and they found the first 2 kills.
Yep, the right play to make, of course. This is the safer point to make of the 2. Get it out the way earlier on so you can give yourself more time for 8. Those kills are coming through in support as well. Reaper needs to be a little bit cleaner on the entry, or maybe not. Somehow still gets away with the kill against Panda. That is literally getting away with murder. And the Luck's going to follow up the kill against Real as well. They have cleared point gear. Godorex, the last one left alive. And I guess fortunately enough for Rokkr ESG in the play, he manages to get away with 2 kills before falling. So that offers Rokkr a chance back in towards this A point early on. But that B hit did not go as planned.
Oh, hey, you got the 1 tick, though, and I would say the job's still good in for Rokkr x ESG. You kind of split up the defensive line for Hive x Streetmob. Nobody was able to get into position to get past that blue tent and maybe try to look at a couple spawn kills, and now the stack is here at the A control zone. I mean, Thresh, he's 38 HP. He's not going to be able to chow this, maybe find a couple of exits, but that's 60 seconds out on the board for Rokkr.
Yeah, big point to take as well, because B can sometimes be a bit of a fragile hole for the defensive side. They are going to set themselves up here, themselves forward to try and catch Rokkr ESG coming off the back of the spawn. Velux is going to start things off on that spawn trap with a double. All it takes is one Rokkr ESG player to filter on through to fall between the cracks, and Hive might find themselves in danger. Real is that guy, of course. The flank master himself will go down before he can do any damage. Hive x Streetmob, this is holding here for the moment, but again, they are going to continue to send players, and those players will always be Real and Panda on these flanks. Diamond Con being a little bit more honest with it, getting himself right in the face of Velux will take him down, and here comes that contention.
You still got to worry about it. I mean, player number 2 is Mach. He's still in these bottom halls, along with Rooper, so without clearing all of this, just sending Real on a very rogue flank by himself, touching that B control zone, you're more or less gifting the information for Hive x Streetmob. You need a clean wave of gunfights, and DC delivers along with Pander. 4 spree between the 2 of them. That second segment, more or less guaranteed, as long as they can deal with Thresh.
Yeah, Thresh is the only player here that can actually do anything of note, to be honest with you. Players coming from that lower corridor as well, but Fresh needs to deliver on one more, and he cannot get it done. Now Mock and Velox just need to go straight through Real. He was there for it. The shots are good. Diamond Con is going to be the one to put the finishing blow in. And Rokkr ESG, again, it's a really hard point to hold on to, because as soon as you lose control of it, those back spawns start to come into effect. And yeah, it's just very hard to regain control at that point.
I mean, even off of the initial push, right? You had a 1-3 split coming through for Rokkr x ESG. There was nobody at any point in time that Hive could even get past the middle of the map already. I mean, we only saw maybe Thresh. He was over by, like, the spa huts. That was probably the player for Hive that got closest to any semblance of a spawn trap to even starting to keep Rokkr past that 50-yard line. Never occurred. Rokkr just always assaulting, always trying to find these trades, and it works out wonderfully. Diamond Con, by the way, 4 spree, double positive, 16 and 8 through 2 rounds worth of play. Hive back over towards the offense.
Indeed, and off the back of his early heroics, we didn't actually notice it, but Velux does have that cruise missile ready to go. That might be very important, especially for some of these A hits. Rokkr ESG trying to get control of the bar, but they're drunk, you're going home. We'll pick up the double. Diamond Con now going to find himself on 5 in a row. He's had a stellar start between these first 2 rounds at 17 and 8. Of course, the new addition to the Rokkr ESG roster. And there is the 6 required as he finds his way up towards a potential spawn trap. But Hive, they are much more preoccupied with this B hit.
Gotta get the 60 seconds. You have really good coverage, especially through top reception over by Globe. Player number 2 is going to be Mach. He's holding that angle. No entry for Godorex. player number 5 and 8. That's Panda and Real. Your SMG doing now for Rokkr x ESG. They're not in a position to try to recontest this. You got to chalk it. You're down by 2 lives. It was a great opening rip for Hive to be able to get that B zone early.
Right call to make, I think, for Rokkr ESG.
Oh, man.
You lose control, yeah, you might find yourself in a spawn trap, and I think Velux is trying to put that spawn trap together. Nice shots versus Real. Got a wreck too. Oh, if those shots aren't in the leg, he would have been in danger. Fortunately enough, though, Godorex wins that fight, and Diamondcon takes the head of Mock as well. So things will stabilize here for Rokkr ESG, but they haven't quite found themselves out of danger just yet. Rupert still hanging about around the spawn trap. Will pick up one before going down. And now Rokkr ESG find themselves a moment to breathe here, to try and reinstall themselves in the middle of the map, in all of these power positions, to make sure that Hive do not find their way through. Diamondcon, again, at 20 and 19, has been such a power player, has been such a wonderful addition to this Rokkr ESG roster. He's ready for it.
I mean, look at Hive. I mean, they're playing so disciplined. They're waiting to see if anybody from Rokkr x ESG are going to press on forward and maybe try to claim more space. The majority, everybody from Hive, are actually in and around Diner. Top glass. Mock's going to be able to take down Real. It's not enough space provided quite yet. DC kind of bites off more than he can chew as far as positioning goes down. And Rupert's able to double on up. So now the A zone open wide for Hive.
Yeah, and how do you even get back into Waters Point? Because they're already double stapping it. That play call is coming from Panda. Do Hive have eyes on it? Well, now, as Panda picks up that first kill, they most certainly should, but he needs to do more. He needs to produce a second kill here against Velux, and will do it, despite the drop shot coming through. Panda is just better, and does take him out of the play before that second tick can convert. But Mock's still around, as is Rupert too. These gunfights need to come through. Rupert's able to convert, Mock does not. So Rupert now the only player close by, going to install himself in towards the restaurant. And Velux off the back of the spawn going through bar 2. Hive, they still got players in the game here. They've still got some pawns on the board, but they need to get them in position.
They lost Real top restaurant as well. He's going to be the catalyst and maybe try to keep this defense afloat. Pander's the only one to find a kill, but that's off the grave via the Semtex. Second segment's about to be captured. Rokkr trying to fly to contest.
I don't think they're going to touch that two-piece from Mock. Is probably going to solidify it, to be honest. Maybe Panda can fly out, but it would be egregious if he gets away with this. I thought for a second there that he was about to get away with something dastardly. But it's denied. Hive going to win out in the end. And again, I think, you know, we're still learning, I think, to a certain extent. I know we've had this mapping rotation for weeks now, Andy. But it does definitely feel now more than ever that these offenses have been so tightly knit. It's very hard once you get a spawn trap in place, once you get the players on all to the point, especially with those back spawns coming through on the defense, to actually get yourselves on the defense back in defensive position.
It was even before that, though. I mean, for Hive, after they lost the initial gunfights to get kind of dissuade from that A control, so they knew they found enough trade to at least maintain that south lane inside a restaurant. They wait for Rokkr to press forward. Rokkr did press forward. They found the gunfights 3 dead, and the space was again gained. 23 and 14 now for DC. On the opposite side, 21 and 17 for Mock. ARs are absolutely feasting here into round number 4. Beckons on. Rokkr able to find themselves a wave of gunfights. Got themselves on the A control zone fast.
Yeah, the harder are the 2 points to take. Rokkr want to get it out of the way right about now. Unforced round number 5, but if those kills come through, that's going to send Godorex away towards the restaurant. Get yourself seated, mate. Dessert's on its way. Mock, he's ready to serve it. There you go. Head on the plate. Lovely. Brilliant start here. The trade's most certainly in favor of Hive, and this is not good for Rokkr. Yes, they don't have to do anybody along that low B corridor, so they should be able to fly over towards B, but look at the way that Mock and Thresh have installed themselves. Yeah,
Thresh all the way down by the blue 10. You got Mock just finessing around these reception staircases as well. It's just going to constantly focus Rokkr to actually spawn parallel over by B. Now, albeit, that's great for Hive. They can keep them in the spawn trap, but Rokkr found themselves an avenue to get inside of this B control zone, and they're also reading Rupert up top glass, but they can't deal with him in kind. It gets pinched by Velux. Last player is going to be over here, will be DC. Gets shut down. Again, another great retake, albeit costly, via 2 segments.
And now this is the problem. This spawn trap is horrendous to be in. It's very, very hard to break out of. You're seeing the kills now starting to come through from Hive. This is so oppressive. At Rokkr ESG right now, slaves to the spawns. Rupert on 4 in a row. This is a real opportunity to Hive to close this game out. Rokkr just cannot break out. Rupert on 4 HP. He's still going to challenge anyway. Rupert, mate, that is a confident play call coming through. And it will deliver a 2-piece right to the hands of Godorex. Can Velux do anything on the defensive play, though? Down at 39 HP, make that 6. And he still gets that second kill. What is that?
DC is still able to slide over towards the zone. He's got some help. His name is Godorex. Rupert looking for the 2-piece. Godorex will get the better of him, but trades are going to benefit that for Hive. They might not have the closer spawns. Rokkr Rokkr trying to flood back in. It's 20 plays up against 9. You should start thinking about chalking this, and although Velux gave it a good shake, he will be cut down. 10 life differential. A minute left to play. Brody, it takes realistically only one good hit.
Yeah.
But you have so little time to clear all these angles, and you got to play it perfectly.
Yeah, this hit around the backline is everything for Rokkr ESG, right? If they manage to install themselves around this reception area, it is absolutely huge, but Velux comes through for the first. Now he knows where the other two are as well. That information is paramount for Hive. The Rokkr's still hanging about here. They've got a little bit of time to play with. 45 seconds on the clock. That's not really their enemy. They know that as well. It's the life differential that's the immediate problem. Hive just keeping an eye on every single angle possible. Representing some shots out towards Godorex. Not going to translate into a gunfight just yet, but that information is enough. Godorex saw big gunfight against Velux, and we have some windy shots there. Not all of them going to connect. Real now the last one left up. 20 seconds here on the clock.
It is on the side of the mountain. That glass is broken. I can only imagine the hail gusting winds that are coming through there. 4 plays up against 17. Rokkr XESG still trying to get out from their spawn. Can't find Thresh either as well. Mach is beaming them. He's letting them have it. Have yourself a day, young man. 28 and 19 for Mach there at the final few moments. Nobody from Rokkr is alive to even touch in time. And how about it? The new look for Hive x Streetmob have a 2-1 lead over Rokkr XESG.
Yeah, they're running these streets at the moment, mate. 3-1 here on control. The battle of the newly formed teams, as it were. Can we consider Rokkr ESG a newly formed team? They've got Diamond Con on the roster. That's the newly...
Yeah, they've gone through roster changes for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I just want you to validate me, mate. You know, every once in a while.
Gotcha.
Look, Rokkr ESG, mate, they just got rattled in that 4th and final round for sure. That offensive spawn trap or defensive spawn trap is rare. I think it's fair to say, right? But when it happens, when you allow it to happen, that just goes to show how potent it is. And hey, we're on another expo right now. We might as well see another one. Right now in a 7 versus 4 here in what could be the final round. T1G Gaming, their backs well and truly against the wall here. This has to be a perfect defensive setup. Mirage going to pick up the first kill. Pristini on the flank could well blow this play wide open. Mirage has read that perfectly. Proda for another one as well. Rex is now the last one left alive, and he gets the kill versus Mirage. That is an egregious challenge, but nonetheless, it leads to T1G surviving.
Yeah, surviving at that. Again, I mean, do not adjust your screens there, y'all. This is in fact the truth. This is the reality we are currently in, is that Convoy Gaming currently trailing 0-2 down versus T1G. 20-point differential in the opening hardpoint. 3-round differential in the Hotel Search and Destroy map 2. Convoy needed reverse sweep here. I mean, if you lose this matchup versus T1G, again, no shade to them, but I mean, their road to potentially even be a top 4 team becomes so much darker. We'll have to see what they can do here. They have a very comfortable lead. It would be a round 5 defense, I'm sure, regardless. You only got to see the tail end of that upcoming round. But for T1G to close it out in a 3-0, it's got to start with this offensive round, Brody.
Split offense coming out from T1G. Siski hanging about this restaurant for a push over towards a lovely couple of kills coming through right off the rip here, and that's definitely diverting the attention of Convoy Gaming. They know that Siski is the immediate threat they need to deal with. They do not want to lose control of A and B concurrently. B is still going. Rokkr is still stopped here. Proto, that's a big position to take out of the plate. Mirage and Juju find themselves isolated on the point, but again, these supporting gunfights off the rip have been so crucial. Rex even under fire over towards that lower corridor area. Gunless loses a big one as well. Every single gunfight you could possibly desire for T1G is happening in your favor.
And you got 3 players that are still very much so alive at the old captured B control zone. So they're going to take this as an opportunity to flank all the way to the backside of the lobby. Gunless is trying to watch the exits here. He's getting a lot of good damage, but he's the only player over here for Convoy. He's going to get double chowed. Not a good look for Gunless. He's going to lose that gunfight. The back flank has been opened up. Convoy's playing this like a chess match, though, Brody. They're playing on the opposite side.
Yeah, that's so crucial. Massive 2-piece coming through from Gunless there, and they complete the sweep, as it were, as Mirage goes down too. And you know what we were just talking about in terms of these defensive spawn traps that we just saw in the last control? We might just be about to see it again, because Nero has just got a car explosion, I think that is, or a barrel explosion, not too sure where the explosion is on that defensive spawn trap against Juju Mirage. These kills are starting to come through, and yeah, here it is again.
Yep, and here it goes. 21 plays up against 18. You gotta battle out from the spawn trap. T1G's Mirage gonna be able to at least find 2, but just because you found 2 kills doesn't mean you're done dealing with all of the threats. Rex is now up to 4 in a row. Getting a cruise missile will surely be the final dagger, nail in the coffin, if you will. And T1G Gaming here on the Expo control, and the trades, I mean, the angles, the crossfires, everything just so sublime. T1G now just down to a minute left in their offense.
Yeah, it's still a lot of time to work with. We will say this much for T1G. Again, they're kind of to install players only on the defensive side. As Rex spawns up in bottom corridor, they know now that somebody is attempting a flank, and there you go. Siski actually wins the crucial one despite Gunless expecting it. Now the pinch will ensue. Rossini watching these players come off the spawn. Big one to take there as Juju is unable to help Roda on the point. And he's already facing some danger. Yeah, Rex is going to finish that kill off with a Semtex. So Convoy, they don't look threatened. They don't look rattled whatsoever. Treaty 1 will have one good hit left in this, and that is a good start with the kill versus Rossini.
Oh, Rex, even stunned up, still gets the better of Prada. Can't let that happen. Oh my! What? I mean, the trade comes through, but the clock speaks for itself. 25 seconds remaining, a 5-life lead for Convoy to extend this to a map 4.
Yeah, big gunfights as well. Gunless over here, watching these players come off the spawn. Big gunfight for Pristini as well, just making sure these players do not get through the corridor. He finds one, but will not find the second. Gunless with a big 1v1 against Mirage, and so many crucial ones going down at the moment. Treaty 1 going to win the majority of them. Now they're finally on the point gear and Convoy. They're coming off the spawn. Is the coverage there from Treaty 1? That's the question. Proto going to produce that with the kill versus Nero. There goes Pristini as well. It's Mirage who actually picks up the double, but Siski picks up the third. Now the stack can come through, and Rex has no choice but to fly towards this point. Siski's going to pick him up, and Treaty 1 refuse to go down. We're seeing round 5.
A 5-life differential there at the final few moments. You essentially just have to play the trade game if you are Convoy, but Juju slips the net. He gets onto the zone. He's got like somewhere near 50 engagements in the positive fashion. I think he's like 27 and 23 right now. He is certainly showing up. This Treaty 1 gaming roster needs them the most. Staying alive in the control, and Convoy, I mean, I know you wiped that sweat off your brow. You had a 2-0 lead at the Expo, didn't you? But still, find yourself into a round 5. A big round at that. And how about it? Treaty 1. These segments, I can only assume, are going to be on a round 5 offense. We got to always ask the question, which side do you honestly prefer here on Expo? Being told that my co-caster's computer apparently just died, so we will venture on this by ourselves. It's just you and me, Twitch chat. Let's get on into it. This is actually a big moment for Treaty 1 Gaming. I mean, talk about a reverse sweep of the control to 3-0 Convoy Gaming. They're going for broke here, just making sure that they're not playing any too many mind games, going for the B control zone first. The stack is good. Nero hits it from the side halls down the staircase, inevitably gets traded. And now you're just down to a last little bit of that fragment for the third segment. Juju's going to find at least 2. That should be the B control zone. No defending members for Convoy are right around the corner to recontest this. On a white slate clean. Almost picture perfect of what we had at the end of the last round for Treaty 1 after they got the B control zone. This time it's 4 players actually hitting all the way through the lounge. Prusini is that sole player all the way back over by these spa huts. At least trying to deal with these players, but Prada tracks him down. Now just 2 more players to at least stop this push happening over by the pool side. 2 more players for Convoy, at least trying to deal with the flank, and it comes through in kind. 3-1 back towards the drawing board. Just Mirage over by this A control zone. Gotta deal with this player. Gets overwhelmed by Convoy members. And Treaty 1 back to the spa, and then the drawing board at that to try to recontest the A control zone. Love this call coming through from Treaty 1. Again, I mean, you don't want to get put in that spawn trap. Effectively what we got to see for about 30 seconds towards the tail end before they won that last offensive round. They're actually going through the old B control zone, trying to get back inside a lobby, but it's being launched by a handful of Convoy Gaming members. Tough gunfight for Gunless. Raj will use the head glitch and take the heady off of Gunless. Gonna allow Siski to sneak on in towards this A control zone. Surrounded by a lot of red arrows on that minimap as well, and the kills are just so sublime for Convoy. Just to fully retake the A control zone. You know that Juju's very much so still alive over here in this lounge area. Nero's just gonna at least try to look for a couple of spawn kills. Gunless is gonna hold the flank. And in 8 seconds left, and Convoy again, they have themselves a very small life lead. Treaty 1 Gaming, again, just trying to find maybe a grasp of straws, if you will, to try to bring themselves back in. And Brody, I hear you're back.
Yes.
Welcome back, sir.
Apparently Windows just decided that was the perfect time to restart my PC for an update. No idea why. Good job, Windows. Anyway, we're back. Apologies for that, Andy. Good job holding down the fort, as always, my brother. But 2-2 right now here in this control. 19 versus 14 in terms of lives. B has already fallen by the wayside. And Treaty 1, they want to fully pull off the reverse sweep here in this control. This would be a lovely time to get it done. But Gunless now starting to aggressively spawns, and unfortunately going to lose that first gunfight now. There's kills coming through from Siski Mirage, and Rex finds himself all alone. He has never felt this alone.
Him just staying alive, though, is buying so much time. And so many more question marks around Treaty 1 Gaming about where this player might be located at. Nero's going to try to at least try to pinch around towards the backside of the diner. He's going to lose 2 more teammates across the board. Certainly doesn't happen again. 13 seconds remain.
Gunless goes down. There's Bristini as well. Rex needs to go huge. There's two. Jolly not the third. The lineup is through, but he runs out of ammunition. His primary weapon has to switch over towards the third. Proda is down by Pristini's hand, and Rex does enough. What is that? Now a 13v7, but the life disadvantage is not the problem as Rex just continues to live up to his name. Proda, can he save the game? No, he cannot. Juju, despite trading that final kill, will not touch. And bloody Nora, mate. Dylan Rex, we've said that he is having his best season ever. And I think that clip right there exemplifies it.
Oh, it absolutely does. I mean, he drops 43 kills. I mean, he is not allowing Convoy to walk away from the series. Not quite yet. They're not allowing the full-on sweep to come through for Treaty 1. 43-21 for Rex. Unbelievable stuff. They stay alive in that series, a pretty big one at that, especially as they have to reverse sweep a Treaty 1 roster. Back over towards another focus. Hive Streetmob have themselves that 2-1 lead versus Rokkr into the map 4. It's a very small lead, but a lead at that for Rokkr. Might flip soon.
Yeah, such a close hardpoint here between these two teams. Rokkr looking to maintain their advantage and even extend it as we look towards the scrap time for P1. Big Gunfight's going down for the rotation. Godorex's going to take fresh off the back of those spawn plays. And now Rokkr ESG will be the first team to touch here, but they've got to be careful because players from Hive are aggressing on both sides of the hard point. Rokkr with a big 1v1 against Godorx towards that Chandelier side. Godorx going to win that first one, and now Mock starting to challenge through Chandelier, or through Spar, excuse me, and he will go down. Every single gunfight good for Rokkr here for the moment, but Velux and Fresh now, they're knocking at the door, and Velux, if he gets that kill against Godorx around the back point, it would be huge, but DiamondCon is lining them up around the front.
Again, DC and another respawn, baby. Double positive, 20 and 10 now. Just trying to keep these players at bay. He knows that Velux is still inside of Spa. Some premature shots is going to keep Velux trapped inside of that area of the map for now. This is a really good look for Rokkr. There's still 20 seconds remaining here inside of the lobby. Hardpoint, keep in mind you. And Hive Streetmob, they got to try to fight for this. 3-for-1 trade. Hive Streetmob, they might be able to find themselves in, but the rotation towards new is going to be a tough one. You can see all of Rokkr, ESG, they're already flooding through wine inside a restaurant, setting themselves up for kitchen early.
Yeah, it's such a big hard point to come out of Rokkr ESG there, and this rotation as well is absolutely everything. To get the second rotation off the back of P2 is really something, and that team nade is frankly not going to help, to be honest. Hive now find themselves isolated to effectively just thresh and mock until Rupert can come and join the party. The first few kills coming down in favor of DiamondCon Real here. One player in the form of Rupert does manage to fly his way through, but the coverage is just not good enough when Godorx has an AR in his hand. That's a third for Godorx coming off the back of that kill. Mock in the middle of the hard point. I mean, yeah, not much you can do in that scenario. Rokkr ESG now just 20 seconds shy of victory here. Hive, they're knocking at the door through the front. Real ready for gunfights happening around the middle. Lux is going to be served up to him here momentarily if he does fly out, but they are just looking for a contest, and Mock was providing that for a few moments, but you still need to find your way through. Rokkr ESG can still finish things here. Here they go. Velux also in now. Gonna pick up the second. Gonna pick up the third. That's Velux for 3 to save the game.
And to save the game just narrowly, right? 238 plays up against 183. This is like the end of P2 all over again. Hive Streetmob, they gotta fly all over through the A-Train. You already got player number 3 of Mock. He's close towards D2. And Rupert's here to help as well. 2 more players to step up. And Rokkr ESG, they're nowhere to be found. Hive Streetmob, they turn scrap into initial.
Yeah, this is a massive rotation coming out from Hive, but they have to survive the onslaught that is DiamondCon coming through the middle of the map. Great read from Rupert there to take him down before he can do any further damage. It is one player currently sitting in the corner, but as Rupert doubles up and Mock picks up number 3, Rokkr ESG, they don't look as settled as they previously were, but Godorx now on this heady. It is a horrible heady to deal with. He is just taking these players away. Hive just now angling to try and keep Rokkr ESG out, but here they go, they're through. Panda is going to be in around the rack line now. Real trying to find a way through, but Lux will take Godorx off that power position, and Rokkr ESG still have to fight for this scrap time. Fresh now, looking for these shots. He's just firing into the absolute nothingness. Panda around the sideline will go down, and now Rokkr ESG going to have to rotate.
You got to rotate. Hive Streetmob were able to at least contest for enough time to force out the rotation towards new. You got player number 7. It's Godorx. He's going to be the first player over here. Does have Real and some assistance coming through from Pander, but Rupert's inside the hard point. He's already snaking the seats.
Oh, and he goes down as well. That nade smoke is just not helpful whatsoever. Real trying to find an entry, but Mock will deny. And now it's all on Panda. In for this time. They don't know he's here. Do they know? The answer is no here for the moment. They've got an inkling that somebody's hanging around the joint, and Velux will find him. Now Hive Streetmob, 10 points away here from closing this this series to start Elite Season 4. Player spawning out at number 6 is going to be Diamondcon. Can he get the player around the backline? That's going to be the question. Panda trying to fly his way through as well. Diamondcon for 1, Diamondcon for 2. Does he save the game? Yes, he does! Diamondcon for 3! And Hive x Streetmob now spawning out towards kitchen side. That three-piece might have done it. Real is going to catch these guys off the spawn. And DC, the new addition of the roster, puts on a show.
What? I mean, yeah, DC finds a three-piece, but it's Panda throwing his life coming away through Chandelier, at least for that last-ditch contest that allows DC just to get a few more steps of tactical sprint to get into position to find said three-piece. And oh my...